What's up, guys? It's Lyoko Sector here. I had a completely separate recording done for this topic, but it appears that my hand has been forced to do a whole new recording of this because I'm getting a little aggravated by all the YouTubers who are also doing stories on this situation. Now, full disclosure before we get into the video, I have nothing personally against these YouTubers. I don't know, something about it, it just, the way that all right, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So, as you may know by now or may not know by now, we got an update on the Steam hardware release. Essentially kind of keeping us in the loop about what's going on with that. To which they said that they still do not have pricing or release date announced for the Steam hardware, the Steam Machine, the Steam Frame, and the Steam Controller. Which is the exact same information that we had previously before they made this announcement. So, I mean, they do a little like Q&A and answer a couple questions, but I mean, the questions weren't really that good anyways, and I'll go through the whole blog post again here in a second. But what really has been grinding my gears right now is the response that all the YouTubers that I follow and get gaming news updates on and stuff like that have been doing it. I will not list any names in particular. But something about it is just like every thumbnail that I have seen on this subject is like, Steam hardware has been delayed, Steam Machine delayed, Steam Frame and Steam Machine and Steam Controller delayed, all that kind of stuff. Everyone's saying it's delayed. And it bugs me so much because, and you'll see in the blog post here in a second, the hardware has not been delayed. There is no official delay from Valve. They do not say it is delayed. They say they are still on track to releasing within the first half of 2026, which to me means it's not delayed. There's a part in the blog post there that we'll get into in a second that says, due to the RAM shortages and all that kind of stuff, we wouldn't have, that's why we haven't announced, we would have announced the pricing and the release date by now, but due to the RAM shortages, we're still kind of figuring that all out, which, I mean, I guess you could technically construe it as a delay if you want to, think about it from a certain point of view. But to me personally, that's not a delay. So for all these YouTubers that are all doom and gloom or clickbaity or trying to be like, oh, Steam hardware's delayed. Oh, no, the RAM shortages and NVIDIA and OpenAI. I mean, yeah, all the bullshit that those companies are doing is totally, bad for the gaming scene and the rest of the world in general. But the Steam hardware has not been delayed. A lot of people kind of had their eyes on this because AMD apparently announced and said that they were on track for 2026, which again contradicts what the YouTubers are saying in their video. So I wanted to redo this recording in response to those YouTubers and other news outlets out there that are claiming that this is a delay. This is not a delay in my opinion. Everything is on track as far as I'm aware. And who knows, maybe we get some news within the month of February and then the pre-orders start February and then we get hardware, early March. I mean, we don't know, but we also know for sure that it is not delayed. But again, I don't know. Something about it was scratching that one part of my brain, and I was like, oh, hell no. Like this stuff is pissing me off and getting me a little aggravated here. But yeah, so let's go over this blog post and kind of get down to the nitty gritty, and then you can make your own opinion on if this is a delay or not. So let's go ahead and get in here. I'm going to go to my Chrome page. So this is all as a result of this blog post by Valve on the Steam hardware update, and this was about 5 hours ago. Steam hardware launch timing and other FAQs. So let's get right into it. All right. So, answering some of your most asked questions about Steam hardware, or HW for short. So, we started the Steam hardware blog as a way to specifically address topics surrounding Steam hardware and wanted to start by tackling some of the most frequently asked questions we received since announcing these 3 new products on November 12th. The Steam Controller, Steam Machine, Steam Frame. Before we dive into some of the hardware-specific questions we want to get straight to the 2 we know everyone is wondering about the most. When will these be launching, and how much will they cost? I'm sure everyone would love to know that, and I'm sure every gaming YouTuber and news outlet, gaming news, all that kind of stuff would love to know. When we announced these products in November, we planned on being able to share specific pricing and launch dates by now, but the memory and storage shortages you've likely heard about across the industry have rapidly increased since then. The limited availability and growing prices of these critical components means we must revisit our exact shipping schedule and pricing, especially around the Steam Machine and the Steam Frame. I'm sure, as many of you are aware, it's no secret that RAM and GPU and storage shortages are causing a lot of mayhem in the gaming scene because of the AI bubble build and AI data center infrastructure and all that bullshit. Maybe I'll talk about that stuff at some point in the future. Leave a comment down in the video below if you want to have me talk about that. But our goal of shipping all three of these products in the first half of the year has not changed, so it is not delayed. I don't know how you can be more straightforward with that. It has not been delayed, but everybody looks at the previous part where it says, they're like, oh, we would have had all this specific information announced by now. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's delayed. Or they're trying to be clickbaity and get views. And it's like, oh my gosh, Steam hardware is delayed. Oh my goodness, but I wanted the Steam Frame now. And you're telling me it's delayed? Like, I don't know. It just rubs me the wrong way. And again, this is not a personal attack on any YouTubers unless they personally attack me back, in which case it's a fucking war. But excuse me. But anyways, so yeah. So but we have work to do to land on concrete pricing and launch dates that we can confidently announce. Being mindful of how quickly the circumstances around both of those can change, we will keep you updated as much as we can to finalize those plans as soon as possible. In the meantime, we plan to use this blog to deliver additional content, from deep dives into specific features, video and blog form, to updates on what's new write-ups, in this first go around. We thought it'd be helpful to answer some of our most asked about topics surrounding the new hardware. And then, of course, we have their little FAQ stuff down here, which, again, I said wasn't really that interesting. We'll go over that here in a second. But yeah, it is not delayed. Don't listen to any YouTuber or any kind of clickbaity video that's like telling you it's delayed. It's not. They are still on track for the first half of 2026. And you can form your own opinion if that's considered a delay, if they would have announced pricing and stuff like that by now, but they didn't. That's up to you. But I kind of wanted to be the polar opposite of the videos that are being made right now on the topic. So let's go ahead and answer some of their FAQ questions real quick. Steam Frame and VR. Will Steam Frame support other streaming devices? SteamOS has a built-in browser, and we expect streaming devices to work in a theoretical browser mode. So that's a nice little bonus. How can I request a Steam Frame developer kit? Steamworks developers can submit a request for Steam Frame dev kits at the partner site here, https://partners.steamgames.com/hardware. So if you're developing a VR game, feel free to check out that link and get yourself some dev kits so you can develop games for the Steam Frame hardware. Will Steam Frame work with the Lighthouse base stations? Unfortunately, no, but it is modular, so you could always integrate functionality with that. Can the Steam Frame be used while wearing glasses? Yes, it can. Just got to be careful about the size and the thickness of those glasses. So I guess thick frames and or contacts would probably work the best of that. So that's always a fun feature. They do mention prescription lens inserts in the future, so maybe we'll get some of those. Speaking of which, I still got to get my prescription glasses and stuff like that done. Not that I can't see, I'm just nearsighted, so I can't see clarity at distance. So, I mean, that just helps me see much more high fidelity resolution in the distance. I've got foveated rendering for like close proximity to me, and then everything else is low rendering at the distance and all that kind of stuff. I heard that Steam Frame has foveated streaming. Is that the same thing as foveated rendering? What games will support it? And you've got the breakdown of both of those there. Foveated rendering is actually generating the scene that you're looking at in real time, whereas foveated streaming is higher quality bit rate, where you're looking for the streaming data from your computer, gaming PC, rig, whatever, to the headset itself. And then, will Valve Index have ongoing product support? While we're no longer making the Valve Index, we do intend to support Index owners the same way we have in the past on an ongoing basis. So rest in peace, Bozo, for Valve Index owners, of which I am one of them. So rip Bozo me. But I'm going to generously give my Valve Index away at a pretty nice discount to somebody. So hopefully you can get a little bit more life in it for that. And then some Steam Machine updates. How well can the Steam Machine play newer, more demanding games? And they talk about running most games at 4K 60 with FSR upscaling. But for some of those more higher demanding games, you may need to run it at around 1080 or something like that, which, is not the end of the world. And honestly, people have been playing in 1080 for a long, long time anyway, so I don't think it's that big of an issue. They're also working on HDMI variable refresh rate, as well as ray tracing optimization, which I think will be really nice. Will third parties be able to make changes to the Steam Machine? Will you be making the CAD for those faceplates? Will third parties be able to make faceplates for the Steam Machine? Will you be making the CAD for those faceplates available? And yes, they are doing that. So those little interchangeable plates that you can put on the Steam frame. You've seen it in the promotional trailers. So they'll be releasing those, which will always be cool. Another new level of customization for it. I'm definitely interested in the custom shells for the Steam Machine. I think Dbrand was doing a Valve Companion Cube skin box thing for the Steam Machine. So we'll have to see how that goes. And then, what components of the Steam Machine are upgradable? Steam Machine's SSD, NVMe 2230 and 2280, and memory DDR5 SODIMMs are both accessible and upgradable. So that's awesome. Rip Bozo, your graphics card, processor, and CPU, and your power supply and stuff like that. But, I'm sure people will find a way to upgrade that in the future. And then some Steam controller updates. Can I play non-Steam games with the Steam controller? Steam controller can work with any game compatible with the Steam overlay. So I guess that means it won't work on consoles and stuff like that. It'd be really nice to get some support on Xbox or PlayStation. We'll just have to see how that develops in the future. And more to come. Keep following the Steam Hardware blog to stay up to date on the latest news and information as we head towards launch and beyond. We'll answer more questions as we go, and also plan to release additional content that lets us deep dive into the specific features and other topics related to the hardware. So that is it for the whole blog post, guys. Again, the Steam Frame, Steam Machine, and Steam Controller are not delayed. They are still on track for the early half of 2026, which is not a delay in my opinion. And again, I just have a real big issue with all these YouTubers and YouTube channels and stuff like that, and news outlets claiming that it's delayed when it really isn't. But let me know in the comments below if you think it is delayed, and maybe I'm just taking this more personally than I should. But even though I said it's nothing personal. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. As always, usual YouTube checkboxes for that. And yeah, this is Lyoko Sector signing off.